If you're looking for a strategy guide for the boss fights in Ninja Gaiden 2 and the most effective ways on how to beat them, well, you came to the right video. I'll be going over which weapons to use along with the combos with the respective weapons, and how to just take the minimal amount of damage. However, the combos that I'll be showing you are safe and do the most damage that I could find. This video was mainly aimed at people trying to attempt their Master Ninja run for their first time, giving them effective strategies to beat bosses without taking as much damage as needed. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Starting with Rasetsu in Chapter 1, the only thing you're going to want to be using is XXY with the Dragon Sword, or YY. The moves you need to look out for are when he jumps back and lunges at you. This can be easily dodged. Or when he crawls at you really fast, he'll do a really quick lunge. He'll also jump up in the air and come down. You can dodge this again really easily. When he does his little flipping attack, you should be parrying the first attack, as the hitbox for Ryu becomes invincible and can't be hit by the follow-up attacks of Rasetsu. Just rinse and repeat using XXY or YY, dodging his slow moves and counterattacking his little flip kick move he does. It's super reactable and just allows you to tack on that little bit of extra damage. Now, the Genshin fight is probably the easiest fight in the whole game. Before you even walk into the door, make sure you have your lunar staff equipped. As soon as he whiffs his flying swallow, or anything really, just use XY and do your Azuna drop. You can keep looping this endlessly and he can't do a thing about it. You can also use this exploit in Chapter 9 and Chapter 14 respectively, where you fight Genshin another 2 times. For the Death Megalo flyer, you really can only use your bow, but I did find that you can use your lunar staff when it's heading towards you. Just jump and do XXY. This should do a little bit of damage, especially if you have your lunar staff at least level 2. But otherwise, just keep shooting it, and if it does its little lasers, you can use your Inferno Ninpo to use the iframes and just avoid it completely. Okay, so for the Godomus boss fight before Alexei, you want to just kind of abuse the 360 move with the Falcon's Talons, as this is like the safest and kind of most damaging move I could find. You might be able to, I'm not sure if you actually get your dual swords before this, but your best bet is just to go with the Falcon's Talons and abuse 360. You'll be able to block in time if Godomus does his little smash, and it's as simple as that. Just guard his moves and then dodge right after. With Alexei, you're gonna want to be using your Falcon's Talons, and the combo you want to use is XXYY. This is a safe string, so anything he does after in retaliation, you'll be able to block in time. As for the attacks he does, he's gonna do a lot of these flying lunges at you. You can block them and then guard right after with the hit stun. He'll also throw these little electrical orbs if he's too far away from you. These can be easily dodged, and then you can just jump. But he'll do a lunge right after and fly at you. You can dodge this and then just punish him. And again, use XXYY with the Falcon's Talons and you should be able to beat him pretty easily. He'll also do this big slam on the ground, as you can see, with a big electric orb around him. This can be dodged if timed right. It kind of has a late hitbox, so even if you try to like dodge on time, the active hitbox will still make you block, or you might get hit, so just be aware of that. So for Momoji's chapter, when coming across the first blue Tengu brother, you want to just abuse forward heavy attack. It's super fast and stuns him, as you can see. You can do this about 2 times in a row. And when he swings, you can react to this and counterattack after blocking. Just attack on that little bit of extra damage. Just repeat this and you should be able to kill him super fast. Now, you want to apply the same strategy with the forward heavy attack, but this time, since you're fighting 2 of them, you can use this camera trick where if you keep one of the Tengu brothers off screen, they won't attack you, so then you can just focus on one of them. Again, repeat the strategy of using forward heavy attack and then just counter-attacking his weapon attacks. So when starting off on the water dragon, you want to make sure you have your Inferno Ninpo equipped right away. And as you can see, that little head animation he did when he looked away, he's gonna spawn ghost fish when he does this. So make sure you have your Vigorian flail out and take care of these. The next set of attacks he's gonna use is the head flip, as you can see right now, and he'll make a wave of water come at you. This will do massive damage if you don't dodge it. So make sure you dodge it by just running to the opposite side, or you can wind jump, since wind jump gives you iframes. But you're gonna be using the dragon sword or the dual swords and abusing forward YY after you dodge each of his attacks, which they are pretty easy to dodge, except for his little spine projectiles. The way you dodge that is by just using your Ninpo, and the Inferno Ninpo will actually do a shit ton of damage to him, so that's why I said make sure you have it equipped right at the beginning, so that way when he does those spine projectiles you can just hit him. So here with Volf, I'll show you two strategies you can use with the Falcon's Talons and the dual swords. But starting off with the Falcon's Talons, the combo you want to use against him is XX, forward X, Y, Y, and the two Ys are the Flying Swallows. I'm assuming since by now you have your Falcon's Talons upgraded. If you don't, you should. But again, I will be showing you another strategy with the dual swords. For the attacks of Volf, he will do this running attack that he did at the start of the clip. You can dodge this pretty easily and then attack him after. Another one is this, the Scythe 360. He'll like spin around. This will hit you twice. You want to dodge after the second attack and then dodge the third attack when he slams on the ground. And then you can punish him after that. Again, just follow up with XX, forward X, YY. He'll also do this taunt if you're a little too far away from him, where he just goes rah and he like spreads his arms. You can run up to him and do forward XXXX on him, or just do the original combo that I told you about, or flying swallow him. For the dual swords, whenever he whiffs an attack and you go to punish him, you want to use YYY and then follow it up with a forward Y, but then hold Y so you don't actually launch yourself up in the air. This should do the maximum amount of damage and keep you super safe, so don't worry about Volf counterattacking you. You can also react to his command grab with a 360, just like I did right there. It's super slow, and the 360 with the dual swords just does a ton of damage. So just make Volf whiff and repeat these moves. So with Marbus on Rachel's chapter, he's gonna have these three little shadow demons. I don't know what they're actual shadow something, but you're gonna want to get rid of them first before you start the fight with Marbus. And then once you do, and he whiffs his little aerial attack, you're gonna want to dodge and then wind jump toward him. And you want to do XXY and then follow it up with an XX and then dodge. So the thing with Rachel, if you don't know, is she can cancel the first two light attacks of hers into a dodge, and this is actually pretty useful against the smaller enemies, because you can put them in hit stun and then dodge into them and do her little, animation she does where she rolls over their shoulder and then go for a free attack. But again, just use that for the Marbus boss fight. Again, XXY and then follow it up with an XX into dodge. Also, if you have Ninpo to spare, don't be afraid to use it to get rid of the smaller enemies on the field when fighting Marbus, as it'll just make it a lot easier, and you'll tack on a little bit of damage on Marbus. for the Witch Fiend on Ayane's chapter, you're gonna use 2 strings mainly, and it's gonna be forward XXX and XX forward XX, which is like her little wind dash that she does, but it's an attack. It moves her, and I think she can't be grabbed out of it, which the Witch Fiend does quite a bit, as you can see. After some attacks, you'll actually stun her, and she'll just kind of lay there for a second. You can get some free attacks in, but be careful after, because she will try to grab you. So just get a few attacks in, and then try to wind jump away or dodge. So now onto the Dark Dragon fight. This boss fight's pretty easy. You're going to want to use the dual swords, and the main attacks you're going to want to watch out for with the Dark Dragon are his hop. He'll jump up into the air and then like come down on you. What you want to do is just dodge this completely, wind jump, and then do the Y combo on him, and then you can use the 360 to get invul frames. This should do the maximum amount of damage, and you can kill him pretty quickly. So again, just rinse and repeat Y, and then use the 360 move. This has to be another easy boss fight. Gogmagog, the huge skeleton boss. His weakness, as you can see his chest glowing, that's his weak spot. So you want to use the Falcon's Talons, and again, you want to try to have them maxed out at level 3. You want to use the string XX forward XYY, just like I showed you with Volf. He'll do the flying swallows at the end, and this will do massive damage to the boss. Once you do enough damage, you'll stun him, and then he'll fall down on his ass. And you're gonna want to use this string again, because now is where you do the most damage, since he's lower and his chest is more exposed. So the strategy I'm about to tell you for Elizebet is gonna work for the chapter 17 fight after the Fiend Genshin fight. So what you're gonna want to do is make sure you have the Enma's Fang, because this is gonna guarantee hits for you. So when she does her little dash, if she's grounded, she has a chance to do it 3 times. So you want to wait till she starts floating, and then when she does her little dash, she'll like wind up, she'll fly back and then dash at you. That's when you want to dodge and then wind run or wind jump. And then as you land, you want to hold the stick forward a little bit and do running Y. And then it's a double hitting move. And then after, you just want to hit her with a light attack and then cancel that into a shuriken. And you're going to want to rinse and repeat this until she's dead. So sometimes when she's grounded and she does her dash and you dash, you kind of want to dash at her as she's lunging at you, so that way you guys go the opposite way and you create space. But sometimes I think the AI will kind of read that you're close to her, and she'll do like 2 or 3 different moves. She'll do her tail stab. It's 2 attacks. Or she'll do one giant one, which is a grab. And if you see her with these, you can do a wind jump and do your running Y and get guaranteed hits. So yes, these are guaranteed as long as you time it right. If you time it just a little off, she will counterattack you and hit you, so just be wary. She'll also do this little swipe string. It's 4 hits. She'll do 3 immediate attacks, and then the last hit will be delayed. As you see her 3rd attack come out, you want to start running towards her and then wind jump, and by that time she should have whiffed her 4th attack, and then you can go for a running Y with the Enma's Fang. So much like the Marbus boss fight in Rachel's chapter, with Ryu, you're gonna want to use your Inferno Ninpo, so that way you can get rid of the other enemies. They'll be a little bit of a hindrance to you. But again, when Marbus misses his wind thing that you see him charge up, he does his little spin, you're gonna want to wind jump at him, and then with the dual swords, do the 360 plus Y. This will just absolutely melt Marbus and probably save you a ton of resources and health. Once you start the second fight with Zedonius, you want to wait and see what he does, because he can start out throwing those fireballs and you want to dodge them. But after you dodge his first attack, you want to run to the island just literally facing in front of you. That way you won't have to worry about the Gaja attacking you, and you won't even have to waste your Ninpo attacking them. So once you get over here, you just want to lure Zedonius over here. Now in this fight, he has an added move, and it's his little fire wave. The way you avoid this is you want to dodge it and then wind jump, but there's a specific timing. And I've noticed as soon as he starts, when he charges it up, you're going to want to wait until his hands catch on fire, and then that's the signal to dodge and then wind jump, and you should jump over the fire wave every time. I already posted a guide fighting Zedonius in the clock tower on the earlier chapter, so go check that video out. That's why I didn't include it in this video. But the same strategy applies with the Falcon's Talons. Just use XX forward XY, and then dodge his attacks, wait for him to whiff something that you can punish. These are mainly going to be his air slam and his beam charge. Okay, don't let Fiend Genshin intimidate you, as this boss fight can be pretty simple and easy. You just want to make sure you have the Tonfas at least to level 2. But you're going to want to wait till he misses his attacks, and he's going to do a charged up attack like you just saw. He's going to teleport and either do a teleport kick or throw those fire kunai down, and you're going to want to dodge these. And then after, use forward heavy. You can do this twice and then do the 360 plus Y. This is going to do the most damage. The forward Y, or forward plus heavy, is going to stun him, and you can do this twice, or you can just do this once and then do the 360 plus Y. But this is going to be how you get your damage on Fiend Genshin. His attacks shouldn't be too hard to dodge. They're very choreographed. You can just, again, react and dodge them fairly easy. You don't want to attack immediately every time. Maybe let him whiff and then whiff a few attacks and then attack him. Otherwise, he's just gonna dodge most of the time. So try to space out when you attack him. Again, for the Elizebet fight, just follow the same strategy that I told you about when you fight her the first time with the Enma's Fang. And if you want to make the fight go a little faster, when you see her charge up that blood spell of hers, you can pull out the dual swords or just a dragon sword and then flying swallow, and this will stun her, but she does have a good chance of dodging it, so it's not a guaranteed hit. But if you do hit her, she'll fall to the floor, and then you can follow up with a few attacks. You can either use the dual swords 360 plus Y, or you can use the Tonfas like you did with Genshin, the Fiend version. Do forward heavy and then do the 360 heavy. The 360 heavy on the Tonfas have iframes, which is something to take note of. But yeah, just repeat the same strategy I told you about with the first fight, and this should be pretty easy. At the start of the Dagra Dai fight, you want to run to the right side and charge up your Piercing Void, so that way you can try to take out at least 2 of the 3 Archfiends. If you don't take all 3 of them out, that's okay. You at least want to try to get 2, so that way it makes them less of an annoyance. But for the boss, when he comes down from floating, he's gonna do 2 different attacks. And they're gonna be either a slash, which you can block and then you can counter attack, and then the other one is a lunge, which is a grab. Both of these are reactable to either counter attacking after blocking or just dodging it. And then with the dual swords, just abuse forward Y and the 360 plus Y. And for the Archfiend, the final boss, you just want to run up to him and abuse the 360 plus Y and forward Y, but hold Y with the dual swords, and this will just absolutely melt him. His attacks really aren't that hard to dodge. You just got to worry about his fist slamming on the ground, and then he makes the fire erupt, and then he'll get off the island and make these fireballs come at you. You just want to dash and jump just like you see me doing here, until he comes back to the island, and then just continue attacking his hands or even his torso, and again react to his attacks, jump, go back to him, rinse and repeat, and now you've just completed every boss in the game, possibly on Master Ninja too, and if you did, good job. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much, and I hope this helped you a ton. Again, this is mainly aimed at people trying to make it through Master Ninja while taking as little damage but dishing out as much as possible, trying to save on resources so that way you can make it through the game. But that's it, this is Darkson signing out, and I hope you take care.